It is gorgeous outside right now. It's mostly been rainy, so I'm appreciating the 5 minutes a day of sunlight that I'm very lucky and blessed to get in this country. Hello. Hello. Oh, you're so handsome. You're so sweet. My God, your face. He's gonna move, but oh, handsome papa. You can lie down. You can lie down if you want. It's because I'm on his chair, really. This is where he sleeps at night. I am exhausted. I'm trying to find a balance. I think if I'm active, like, I mean, when I say active, like, active for somebody who's spent, oh my God, how long? It's like nearly 2 decades with a chronic health condition. It can't be nearly 2 decades. Was I like 12? What is it now? The body's like 27. Yeah, just calculate. I can't do maths. It's been a long fucking time of having health issues. So I really, really, really want to be active and do all of the things with like fucking little dog with like this cabin fever. Oh, hello. Haha. Thanks for your support. Thanks. And also, I'm terrified. I'm constantly terrified that I'm gonna like, every time I burn out, I'm like, what if this is it again? What if I just don't have any energy now and it just never comes back again? It's been like, we had like a 4-year period in our worst bit where we literally couldn't leave the bed. I was just fucking bedbound for like a whole 4 years. Had to be carried up and down the stairs to just have a change of scenery and flop on the armchair downstairs. Couldn't like lift shit to drink. It was like fucking horrific. Every fucking time I'm active, I'm scared that it's just gonna like drop me right back there, because I do run out of energy faster than somebody who's always been healthy, I think. Or like, it's very extreme. Like, I do still have days where I'm like, okay, I've used too much energy and now I can't move off the seat. But it's nowhere near like what it was all the time. But every time it goes like to the level where I can't move off the chair again, I'm fucking terrified. So I'm trying to build a routine and like slowly introduce activities and not be petrified of incurring the same sort of level of fatigue and pain that we used to have. And I think if I'm active like a few days of the week and then rest a few days of the week, probably with more rest days than active days. And an active day is just like doing some exercises in the morning and sitting outside on the grass and throwing a toy lazily to my dogs and then doing some skateboard practice. Maybe, if I'm lucky, like cleaning the kitchen or something. I think, I mean, to be fair, that's so much more than I could have hoped to do years ago. And also, it's like, I want to do more. I want to do everything. I want to do all of the things that I haven't been able to do, and all the things I want to do now. And I want to practice art, and I want to spend hours skateboarding, and I want to walk with my dogs miles. All these things that, like, I'm grateful for what I can do that I couldn't do. I'm terrified that what I can do isn't going to last. And, like, it depends on what we've done in the day mentally as well, because, like, any trauma work we do significantly tanks my energy, so, like, I can spend hours dissociating still unable to move from that. Like, fuck, man. That's what I'm thinking about today, because today has been a rest day, and I'm like, I'm exhausted, and I had to go out to the shop, which is only down the road, but that's that's an activity in the rest day, so I might have to rest an extra day, which is okay. And also, I'm like, fuck, I don't ever want to rest again. I spent like a decade resting. Like, might be like 15 years ill or something. I know what it is, but it's like, makes me never want to be inactive again. And also, I gotta pace myself and be careful how active I am. I think resting is triggering after all of that. I think that, like, pacing myself and going slow is triggering, and I think that being active is either, I don't know that it's triggering, but it terrifies me in another way, because it's like, it feels so fleeting and so out of my control, you know? It's so like, I can't, it's like trying to hold water with it running between my fingers. I can't guarantee my health. I can't hold the energy we've got. All I can do is, like, try and make sure the body has the least amount of stress chemicals flooding it every day. Try and be, like, mindful and present and aware and breathe lots. Keep our diet clean. And yeah, shit ton of rest. And then try not to get stressed about the rest, even though sitting around and not doing anything is triggering, because it just makes me think of that, like, fucking years of my life where I literally had no choice. At least now it's a choice. I can remind myself of that. Like, now I am choosing to rest to save energy. Even if I feel exhausted, it's like I can still think more of the time than not. Whereas when we were real, like, I couldn't like visualize, think, or understand. Now that only happens when we're triggered. And it's different. It was just chronic before. So maybe noticing the differences, maybe that'll help. I feel like I process one thing and I get to, like, an okay place of processing it, and my brain's like, next thing, like, immediately. I'm still drained from, like, all the sort of intense fusing shit, which I'm in awe of and grateful for. And it's like the next day, and it's like I'm resting from that, and then resting triggers a different thing, and I'm like, okay, I've got to do work so that I can rest without freaking the fuck out about the fact that I'm resting, and be like, I'm resting, I'm not trapped. I can move my arms, see? I can gesticulate. This is very different from how it was before. I can think. It's very different. If if I have brain fog sometimes, it's probably the trauma and dissociation. It's not going to be like that for another 10 years. Fuck. And that's not even like touching on the random episodes of like chronic pain. I think my muscles, my joints generally, I can, I don't know, like maybe they hurt, but I don't know what's normal. I feel them more than I did when I was a kid, but also I'm so dissociated from my body most of the time. And maybe that's one reason why as well. I had like 15 years of it just bringing us like every kind of fucking pain. Let me rephrase that. Of it just being in every kind of fucking pain. While doing its damnedest. So fuck. I can't skateboard practice today. I haven't played with the dogs today. I'm really feeling it. I'm like, I want to go outside. I'm gazing forlornly out the window. And I gotta rest like another 2 days at least. And then if I pace myself, keep us like regulated on a nervous system level, mentally and emotionally, then it's not going to flare up and get 1,000 times worse, where I would actually be like having flare-ups. So God, I'm so tired. I think we're starting, well, man, I think I'm starting to learn what a window of tolerance is. Because I can't tell if we're just like so used to being outside in either hyper or hypo that that's become what we think our window of tolerance is, because that's what we've experienced mostly as a default, and like oscillating between the two depending on who's in front, I guess. But like actually even just I alone would, because I'd be like hyper functional and washing up, or like chronically ill and unable to move, or fuck man. So like or just chronically depressed and unable to move from that. God, it's been a it's been a really fucking intense time so far. I feel like I've lived for like at least 30 different lifetimes, and they've all had fucking travesty laced throughout. That's why I say I'm tired all the time. It's like, I don't just mean like I didn't sleep right, or like I need a few days to recover. I mean like, man, I'm drained. I fucking feel depleted and everything. I feel so exhausted. Do you want help for me to make it comfier? Allegedly, they do that because it's like programmed in from like trying to make the forest floor more comfortable, like raking up the leaves and the dirt to make it softer and then treading it down and flopping on it. But if I wonder why it hasn't changed for so many years of domestication. I wonder how long they've been scratching at mattresses and floorboards and they still do it. Where are epigenetics? Oh god. I guess it's not bringing them anything negative, so it hasn't had to change. That's basically where I am today. I'm resting and trying to recuperate as I integrate. So much. I feel like I feel a lot more today. Like I'm having a lot of fast-paced, conflicting, multi-layered thoughts and feelings about many different things and lots of opposing subject matters and emotions. And I guess I'm focusing on how those things can exist as well as like the person capable of dealing with all the fucking housing shit and the phone calls and learning all the skills we've learned and applying them and working through games being a trigger until and videos being a trigger until the point where they're actually things that benefit us, and like trying to focus on the fact that I can be all of those things and that all of those things can exist within me, because it's not just the anxiety and the insecurities and the fears and the overwhelm of various different opposing emotions that exist. It's like me as a vessel, as a container, is also like far vaster and more able to deal with those things being within me. I guess I'm taking extra time to remind myself of that and not allow myself to get overwhelmed. And then just trying to rest. I'm trying to work through not getting triggered by having to rest. Trying to learn how to rest as well, because like my brain kind of like I want to move at a certain pace, which I guess is like part of the chaos, like used to being in chaos and used to being used to everything being fast paced. So like slowing myself down is also kind of work, just to learn how to do that. So learning how to rest. I've started doing this because we've got like chapter books, journal books that it was like once a month, but now I'd say we probably use 2 a month. Journal quite a lot more. And I've started recently trying to do art again, because it really helps if I can do it, but I have not been able to do it lately. And what I want to do is like do system-based cartoon comics of the things that happen to us. And I'm just starting real light. I've started with like a front cover to our journal entries. This is this month's. I don't know how to get you in frame, but and I've only drawn mine, and I think I helped draw Connor's, but Artemis and Valentine and Dee have all drawn theirs. And it's kind of just hashed out with pen, because otherwise I'll sit there meticulously with a pencil for like hours, sort of like hyper zooming in and doing it. And I wanted to just like quick sketch everything in, be unable to make mistakes, or like make mistakes and just go with it, and kind of get used to just like doing it all in one, I guess. So that's kind of cool. I've done that today, and watched some videos on YouTube, journaled a little bit. It's hard to rest for a lot of reasons, to be honest. Like learning how to rest and learning how to pace myself slowly, and then also learning how to do that and feel like that's okay and like that's enough. Like not feel like I haven't done enough or like I should do more. Which I will just feel until I'm like completely burnt out. And even then, it's just. So I feel like for the first little while, resting is gonna. It's like I'm setting up my body and my brain and our nervous system to be able to rest. Which is kind of what I mean by learning to rest. But it's not actually that restful yet because it's really hard to slow and regulate everything and like take it down and then work through the racing thoughts that I'm sat with that I really notice in the still and the quiet and be like, I am enough and I am doing enough, way more than enough, probably still too much. And like, I guess validate myself for resting. And make sure that I don't feel like I only worth what I can see. Like that my value and my worth aren't measured by my productivity. I also trying to sit with any emotions that come up always as a rule of thumb. Um, it's kind of hard to notice them there, so like I kind of have to actively notice. I have to like check in with myself every day to see what I'm feeling, and it can be hard to label and work it out. And trying to do that without like going out of my way to instigate more work to do because I'm used to it being that fast paced, like trying to keep up with processing my emotions that are there and giving them room without letting my brain kind of trick me into making that a way to make things faster and like stop me from slowing down. So it's a really nuanced, gradual, tiny little shifts on the dial sort of work, I feel. Man, it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay. God, I hope you're all having a good time. I hope you're having. I hope you're having like the best days. Or if you're not, then I hope it's minimally shit. I hope that you're all finding time to rest and find time for whatever you need and take space for whatever you need. Alright. Much love, you awesome fuckers.